Stagnation is your boy Present. Welcome back to another awesome day of making gains in crypto. Now let's jump right into the action here. We don't have Double O Kenny with us today. Kenny is on a mission back to Nigeria to visit the motherland. Okay, so we're going to be missing Kenny for about 2 weeks. I'm gonna be solo dolo, but I think we can do this one. No problems at all. So let's jump right into the action here. We're going to be doing some technical analysis on MATIC, Ethereum, and Mana, Decentraland, right? The metaverse coin that everyone loves. Now, once we jump into the news, we're going to be taking a look at Square. Changes its name to Block. Square changes its name to Block. Senator Loomis, aka the Bitcoin Senator, plans to block Jerome Powell's nomination. And of course, will Bitcoin continue to be a hedge as inflation rises? With no further ado, well, before we jump in there, I would just like to let everyone know that on December 17th to the 19th, we teamed up with Ronnie, our good friend Ronnie, for the RONNIE'S Masterclass, cryptocurrency Masterclass, right? We're invited there to just share information and teach people a couple things about crypto, right? So we'll be talking about how to use different crypto wallets, how to swap coins on a decentralized platform such as PancakeSwap. We'll be talking about staking and yield farming. So please come out and support. We're going to be having a good time, and we're going to be leaving the descriptions to how you can join the masterclass or get your ticket to the masterclass in the descriptions below. Now let's jump right into the action here. We'll start by looking at MATIC, currently trading at $2. Now, the interesting thing with MATIC here, I'm just going to flip my fibs because for some reason it's always upside down. All right, so the interesting thing with MATIC here, we see that it dropped previously. This was let's see, November 18th, right? It had fallen down to the to a very strong support level there, which is going to be on the 0 Fibonacci retracement line. That tends to be a very strong support and resistance point, right? In this case for MATIC, it's at $1.44, and ever since then it's been recovering. We can see that the moving averages have reversed, right? Moving back to the upside, we're seeing higher lows, right? And the next move, currently sitting just below that 0.786 Fibonacci retracement line there. What I'm really looking for on this one is to see if it will open a candle above and close, right? If it will close a candle and open a new one above that 1 Fibonacci extension line there. Generally, when that happens, we tend to see things run. That is at $2.23. Now, if that should happen, right, then the next resistance line is going to be, or the next resistance point is going to be at $2.70. So from where it is right now, that is going to be about, if I was to guess, I'll say like a 40% move. Oh wait, 34% move. We were far off, but not too far. So that would be a 40% move to the next, to the previous all-time high, which is where our next resistance will be. I'm holding some MATIC, and I'm just waiting to see how this one goes. I wonder how it's going to react in the bear market. That is something that I'm still not 100% sure about. We do know that the bear markets in cryptocurrencies can be quite aggressive, sometimes an 80% correction. So something to keep an eye out for. Moving on, we're going to be looking at Ethereum here. As we know, Ethereum has been moving through this beautiful bullish continuation channel before things got wrecked. Chopped, fell out of that continuation channel. But the good news is we found support, right? The first time we found support, let's see here, that was about around $4,029, and ever since then it's been sort of building back up, right? Moving back up, and let's see, that will be about, let's see, we're now up 12%. Which is not much in crypto, but we're now up 12% from that previous major support level there, right? It was pretty close to the 0 Fibonacci retracement, right? And it did actually touch it at some point. One other interesting thing I'm wondering is, could it be a repetition of a pattern such as this one we see over here. As we know, pattern tends to repeat themselves, right? So if it's happened before, it could happen again. And we see it across charts. We see it on charts across the board, whether it's stock or crypto. Right now, I've seen many posts and many articles with speculations that Ethereum could see $6,000 by the end of the year. I do not think that that is too far-fetched, right? Like, for example, looking at where we are sitting right now, depending on what happens, and we have maybe about 11 hours before this candle closes out, if this candle should reverse, right, and we are able to approach that one Fibonacci extension there, which is going to be about $4,864, right, which is pretty much going to be all-time highs, right? Yeah, that's going to be all-time highs for Ethereum. If we open and close the candle above that, then I don't think that $6,000 is going to be too far-fetched from there. I'm curious to see how much of a move is going to be from the one Fibonacci extension line there to $6,000. Let's see here. All right, so about a 23% move. That is not impossible for Ethereum by the end of the year. So we'll keep an eye on that one. However, I will say this. One of the things about Ethereum that bothers me, and a lot of people are also complaining about this, is the gas fees, right? We have blockchains out here now that are able to deliver close to what Ethereum is delivering, right, without the atrocious gas fees. And it seems like on the end of Ethereum, there is not a sense of urgency to resolve this issue. Ethereum 2.0 has been coming forever. Anyway, there seems to be no urgency to resolve this. Now we know that Ethereum 2.0 is supposed to be around the corner. I believe it's January. It's going to be early next year, right, when Ethereum 2.0 should be released or working, if you will, because it's just going to be an upgrade from what I understand. And we'll see how that resolves the gas fees, but I have my doubts. Moving on then, we're going to be looking at Mana. Mana currently trading at $4.32. This is one of those metaverse coins that are just going absolutely crazy right now. I do not have any Mana because I was impatient. I sold my Mana because it was sitting there for a very long time. As you can see, Mana has just been flat for a very long time. I think I had Mana since was it last year? No, it was very early in the year. And at some point I gave up on it and I sold it. This is the part where the patience come in, right? We have to be patient when we do these things. I'm a little bit better now than I was before, but it's one of those things that we have to keep working on it. And the biggest thing with investing is really just knowing yourself. Learn what triggers you. Learn what makes you to take the actions that you take when trading, and that might help. That's what I'm trying. That's what I've been trying to figure out, and that's I would say it's improved my trading over time. Not trading. Investing. So Mana currently trading at $4.32. We can see that it's currently pulling back. Once more, we're going to reverse this Fibonacci retracement. We can see that Mana is currently pulling back, right? TTM is moving down. This means that the volume, the buying volume is falling, right? Buying pressure is falling. So is the awesome oscillator, right? This is a momentum indicator as well, showing that the volume is falling. But of course, there can be reversals, as we can see here previously in around November 4th, right? We started losing some volume, but then things came back again. Now, I'm wondering to myself, could it be a repetition of this pattern which we see here, right, where we saw a bit of a pullback, but then things continued to move up? As you can see, the massive green candle there consumed essentially all the red candles that were there and opened another green candle above it. If you're looking at candles, or if you start studying some candle patterns, you would kind of get the ideas of what is happening with the candles, the battle between the buyers and the sellers. In this case, the buyers were definitely there, the catalyst was there, the metaverse, right? And that kept pushing the coin up. So I'm wondering if it's going to do sort of like a short pullback like it did there back in November, and then keep pushing to the upside. If it doesn't, then maybe I'll be keeping an eye out to start loading. We are kind of close to what would be considered the bear market after all. And as we know, and as I mentioned before, the bear market in crypto can be quite aggressive, sometimes up to 80% corrections. And unfortunately, for some coins, they go down and they never come back. Now, of course, the landscape has changed for cryptocurrency. There is way more adoption now. But then again, before the previous bear market, there was also more adoption than the previous cycle before that. So definitely something to keep an eye on. I'm wondering what happens there, and so I can start loading some mana, hopefully. Worst case scenario, I think I'll just have to accept that I have missed the train, and then look for a reasonable point to be getting in. The arrow there is from a previous technical analysis where our price target was about $4.86. Well, clearly that TA was working. Anyway, moving on to the news. Square changes name to Block, reflecting CEO Jack Dorsey's Bitcoin endeavors. Square Crypto will be renamed Spiral. Very interesting stuff here. Square has announced it is renamed itself Block in an apparent reference to blockchain, the technology that undergirds Bitcoin. Square has announced it is renamed itself. I think that is it has. Typo, Abby. Well, anyway, I guess nobody proofreads anything these days, but let's keep it going. Square has announced it is renamed itself to Block in an apparent reference to blockchain, the technology that undergirds Bitcoin. Not that the company is expressly stating that. Block, it says, creates room for further growth. Interesting. We built the Square brand for our seller business, which is where it belongs, said Dorsey in a press release today. Block is a new name, but our purpose for economic empowerment remains the same. No matter how we grow or change, we will continue to build tools to help increase access to the economy. Mr. Dorsey. Listen, I think that this is some pretty cool stuff here. You know, Facebook is now Meta and Square is now Block. I wonder what will be next. Someone else is going to change their name. I can almost guarantee it. 90%. Right? So Jack Dorsey has left. As you know, Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter and Square, left Twitter. All right, has resigned from Twitter to focus on Square and some blockchain endeavors on the Bitcoin blockchain. Now, as we know, he released his white papers for a decentralized Bitcoin exchange. Right? I think this will be pretty cool. And of course, this will also be improving or expanding the payment system to include Bitcoin as well. This is great for transactions. This, I believe, is one step away from the current fiat system which we have in place. Right? I envision a future where we're all transacting in crypto, and I think that something like this is one step towards that. I understand that the maximalists might disagree with me because they don't like anyone messing with their Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, I think that one of the things that is really slowing down crypto adoption is the ease of use, right? And we know that Square, as a software company, is one of those companies that has shown that they can deliver something that is easy for everyone to use. So if we can do that, right, with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency payments, I think that is a plus for everyone. Bitcoin Senator Loomis urges GOP to block Powell nomination over crypto policies. Loomis claims the Fed under Jay Powell has treated Wyoming's new crypto banks unlawfully. I agree with you, Senator Loomis. Unlawful treatment. Let's see what happened there. Senator Cynthia Loomis is asking her Republican colleagues to withhold support for Jay Powell's re-nomination as chair of the Federal Reserve, citing what she claims is unlawful treatment of crypto institutions in her home state. According to the source, Loomis' office, the pro-Bitcoin Wyoming Republican, is also urging Senate colleagues to block President. I feel like we already read that. Come on now. It's a little bit repetitive, but we'll carry on. Is urging her colleagues to block President Biden's other Fed nominee, Lyle Brainerd, unless the pair of nominees adopt a more crypto-friendly stance. Loomis' concerns relate to so-called Special Purpose Depository Institutions, or SPDIs, which are a new type of crypto-native bank to which Wyoming lawmakers have granted special charter to operate. The SPDI, essentially, is a new provision, right, which will allow crypto banks to operate in Wyoming. Unfortunately, it seems the issue here is that this requires approval as well from the feds in order for the crypto exchanges, in this case, right, the exchange is Kraken. And at this point in time, I would say that the lines between a bank and crypto exchanges is completely blurred, right? There's no difference. If you're going to be a crypto exchange, you might as well consider yourself a bank. But a new bank, a crypto bank, the future bank. So what is going on and what is really concerning here is the fact that the feds have not approved for Kraken and I guess any other crypto exchanges that will be going down this route. They've not approved for them to receive accounts at the central bank. We have a situation here where people are just refusing to do their jobs, right? Or they're just choosing not to do their jobs. They're ignoring this request. It's the same thing with the Bitcoin ETFs. The SEC will not approve any Bitcoin spot ETF. And the question is, why are these people not doing their jobs? I think we all understand that the traditional system feels threatened by cryptocurrency. They're unsure as to what may happen. Maybe they'll lose their powers, maybe they'll lose their wealth, who knows, right? But they're clearly blocking any progress. This is stifling technology. This is stifling innovation, right? And really a brighter future for everyone. Now, of course, things are going to get worse before it gets better, but I think that it is very unlawful. One other thing that this reminds me about, according to a Wednesday up by Loomis in the Wall Street Journal, the delay amounts to deliberate and unlawful obstruction. This reminds me of what happened to us yesterday at the bank. If you haven't seen it yet, right, the previous video we posted yesterday, Kenny and I actually walked into the bank to open up a bank account that was going to be related to crypto business. I get it. Maybe a business can refuse you services if they feel so or not. But in this case, nothing we were doing was unlawful, right? Generally, when you go to open up a bank account, especially a business account, right, and they ask you what your business is and everything else like that, I think if it's not anything illegal like drugs or money laundering or whatever else that they may come up with, they should be able to open this bank account for you. Bitcoin is legal. Cryptocurrencies are legal. Okay. Yet this was the reason why they refused to open up a bank account for us. I think that is, we could look at that as unlawful itself, because our business just got obstructed. Progress in our business just got obstructed. So if we cannot open a bank account to conduct business as at a traditional bank, where do we go? Where do we go from there? Right? This is why this needs to happen. This is why cryptocurrency needs to happen. The crypto exchanges are, I would say, are pretty much set up to do this, right? But the resistance is coming from the government. Actually, the Fed is not even government, which is even more insane. But moving on, as inflation concerns intensify, this can put Bitcoin back in the driver's seat. Listen, Bitcoin never left the driver's seat. Bitcoin has always been in the driver's seat. It is the future. Okay. Inflationary concerns have been getting graver. Inflationary concerns have been getting graver with every passing day. A few nations have acknowledged it is a real problem, while the rest continue to bury it under the blanket of neglect. Print more money. Other than depending on assets that act like hedges, there is hardly any way to protect one's savings from inflation's grip. This is very true. Bitcoin, the crypto market's largest coin by capitalization, has however been associated with the aforementioned tag, and to a fair extent, it has been able to shield the common man from the clutches of the day-to-day rise in price. This is very true. We speak about this all the time on the show here. Inflation right now is 6% according to the feds, but the reality is it is more than 6%. Society is getting robbed and no one even knows it, right? So this is like silent robbery, because if you had let's go from last year, let's say from 2019 to now, if you had $100, if you had $10, right, whatever you could purchase, your purchasing power has been diluted, right? So whatever you could purchase with that $100 before is no longer possible. You'll be getting much less for your $100. This is not fair. And this is something that is done by a group of people at the feds making the decision to do that, right? we get it. In one way or another, we need to be able to maintain a healthy economy. But the interesting thing is, this is all programmed into Bitcoin, right? There is a fixed supply, right? You can't just print money. So I think a solution will have to be working around the capitalization, right? What is the value that is already in place for Bitcoin? So, and also something to I'll also add that Bitcoin right now, I believe, is probably one of the only or cryptocurrencies, really, depending on which one you pick. But let's stick with Bitcoin here. Bitcoin is one of the only assets that you can hold that will effectively fight against inflation. A savings account will definitely not do that. You're getting robbed at a ridiculous rate because the interest rates there are only like 0.01 or 0.1, something like that. And if you, I don't know, mutual funds, that's not even going to do anything. So Bitcoin is one of those things. This is the way to fight inflation. This is the way to protect your wealth, right? If that's something you're into, we're into that. You know, we would like to be able to maintain a certain quality of life. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to make sure that the money that you're making is not being stolen from you without you even knowing it, right? So I think it's pretty clear cut here. No matter what, no matter what we're hearing from the government, no matter what fraud is being printed and things like that, if you look at the money supply after the pandemic happened, astronomical numbers. There's a chart for that somewhere, and I'll actually find a link to that, and I'll also add that down below. So it is very clear at this point. And even to the conference, Kenny and I went to a conference in Miami a month back, and this was one of the things that all the speakers there were really harping on, the fact that we're losing control of our financial future. We're losing control of our financial future, honestly, if we're sticking with the current fiat system. Because ultimately, at the rate at which inflation is going, at some point, no one will be able to afford anything. Well, the wealthy will, but as you know how this goes, the people at the bottom get squeezed out first. And that is always a horrible, I don't know, it's a horrible future to think of, right? And so we hope that does not happen at all. So with that being said, that'll be all for the show. And actually, before I go, I have one more thing I would like to share with everyone here. As we know, the stock markets are currently down, right? I was on Finviz the other day and everything was red. Everything was absolutely red except for Apple and Tesla, which I don't even know how that happened. And the interesting thing about it is I saw a lot of conversations about people hopping on Tesla. I think I was on what is it called, man? StockTwit. StockTwit is an app, which is, for some reason, everyone on there is always bullish all the time. But these are the times when, and the same thing applies for the crypto market, right? There are cycles, but these are the times when you really want to just, I don't want to say calm down, but these are the times when you really just want to take a step back and be patient and understand that the markets will always rebound. Right, looking at this chart here, this is just a historical. You're looking at historical performance of the stock market here, and I just wanted to touch on this a bit because, I've had a couple of people kind of engage me about this. So this is from 1950 to about 2020, right? And you would see that you can see the months where stocks historically perform better, and the months when they tend to drop significantly. This trend has been happening for a very long time. I will not take any rash decisions at this point in time because we know that over a certain period of time, things kind of come back to the upside again. It will be a good time to average down, to buy more. Of course, you want to make sure that you're only investing with money that you can afford to put away for a while, right? So we can see that historically, December has not always been a good month, right? It's always been pulling back. January has been, kind of here and there. February has not been great either. The same thing happened last year because Kenny and I sat through this. We've kind of sat through a whole cycle. And right now we're seeing very much a repetition of what happened last year. We've been holding, we've been trying to put cash to the side so that when this drops far enough, we can start buying into some stocks at that point. I really recommend looking into things like the quad model from Hedgeye, because they really do a very good description on what is going on here. But you know, we're heavily crypto these days. Well, with no further ado, it's been your boy Brazen. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for just clicking on our videos, checking out what we have to say daily. It's always exciting as well to always be doing this. Until next time, Brazen out.